Hey, what's up guys? Austin here. Long time no talk. It's been, I think, almost a year now since my last video. You guys, I have to apologize. Things have been a little crazy in my life. As you can see, I have a little bit of a different background now. I actually moved pretty recently. I think I wanted to make an update video because I am long overdue and I definitely owe you guys something. So here it is. Let's talk about kind of two things. I want to talk a little bit about first, number one, Chia. What's going on with the Chia in my world? And then number two, I think I'm gonna actually start trying to make more videos in the next month or so, but we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a pivot in terms of content of this channel. I'm gonna focus on some other different topics, and I'll talk about what I'm thinking about in just a second here. So what's going on with Chia, right? Am I still farming? What is going on? I have no idea what the price was when I last made this video, but to basically reassure you guys, yeah, I am. I spent I think a few months ago, I spent a lot of time actually improving and streamlining the reliability and consistency part of my farming setup. So basically, I took my farmer, I installed Ubuntu server on it, and now that runs as my main farmer. And then I've set up my gaming PC, which also has a bunch of extra drives, and that's my harvester. And so few perks there. The Linux system is really, really stable. I haven't had too many issues. I have a lot more issues kind of with Windows. And so it's been really, really nice not having to worry about the system crashing. I think last year there was a point where I had my farmer, it was still Windows, I set it up and then went to vacation in Europe. 3 days into it, the system just crashed and it just did not work. I couldn't get access to it. But with now this new Linux computer, I have, SSH set up. I can remote log in very easily, even if it does go down. It's been just way more reliable. And so my advice for you is, you're still in this game and you have like an extra computer, definitely think about switching to Linux. It is hard. There's definitely a learning curve. It took me a while to kind of figure out how to get things running, how to actually work through there. But once you figure it out, you understand the Chia ecosystem a little bit better. When you run things from the command line, you understand behind the scenes in the GUI. And so I think that's a great learning opportunity. But then B, also you just get a little bit more experience running Linux. There's a lot more stability. I don't have to worry too much about, whether or not my farmer's online. And so that's been super nice. It's just chilling. And so kind of give you an update of where we're at. Like, I am farming. I have I want to say about 4,000 plots, I think is where I'm at right now. I have a little bit of hard drive space left, but I haven't actually gotten to finishing plotting everything. But yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just hanging out. I connect to Spacepool and it's just been chugging along. It's really smooth. I think the only issues I ran into were the database when it got super big. So I had to kind of redo my Linux drive, the main drive that holds the database, and make it just much, much bigger. So now we're sitting at a terabyte of space rather than 100 gigs. So that should hopefully run for quite some time. And then the other thing is, the whole system runs really, really smoothly now. I just have, I have my farmer. I use a Fractal HD case that holds all of the drives there, and then it's connected to two external Sabrent 5-bay enclosures. Those are in there. And then I have my gaming PC, which I use for gaming and sometimes video editing and a bunch of other stuff. That is now a harvester that connects to the farmer, and then they just work together and just do work. It's been really straightforward, and things have been really smooth. In fact, this is kind of, I think in one of my older videos, I talked about things when it gets boring and when it gets crypto winter is kind of here, right? Like, if you've been following the crypto space, there's been a lot going on and not much good thing going on. It's more negative things. Things are crashing. You have Luna, you have UST. Combine that with kind of the shape of the economy. Things are not good. And this is where I really think, if you're thinking about giving up on Chia, you should do it for a really good reason. You can't allocate any more time to maintain anything and you've tried everything you can, or you need to sell your drives for money because you're literally strapped for cash. Those are reasons why I think that you should potentially consider quitting Chia. Otherwise, if you have your system just running and it's smooth, like let it go, you know? Chia's training, I don't know, I think it's probably a little under $40 right now. A lot of people were probably a little demoralized by like the initial kind of price crash, but like to be expected, guys. Like I think, you know, this is good. Like net space hasn't grown consistently. You're able to continue to plot and, you know, accumulate XCH over time. This is the long game, guys. This is, you know, this was not, I think people that kind of got into this hoping, well, at this point, honestly, I think the people that got into this thinking it was going to make them instantly rich are probably gone now. And these are the people that are still watching this video are probably in it for the long haul. And so again, like my advice is stick with it, keep going. The only things that you should like do is kind of what I did. Find ways to make this process easier, right? Make it a little bit more smooth, make it a little bit more reliable. Switch to Linux if you can, you know. Try to get your plot set up in a way that, you know, things run well. Add maybe some auxiliary accessories to help keep your farm stable and just kind of out of your hair. And that's what I'd recommend doing. You know, I'm gonna continue doing that. There's no changes for me there. My stance is still the same. I really think, you know, there's a lot of promising things happening within Chia. I think it's great that right now the price is actually still low. Hard drive space, you know, the prices have come down a lot. I'm gonna stick with it. If I, you know, feel like there's an opportunity to kind of grow and add more plots, I will do that. But for now, yeah, I'm just sitting steady. It's gonna be a while, you know. I probably won't think about like what to do with my XCH for, I want to say probably like five years or 5 years or so, something like that. It's going to be long, you know. I think the point where I will start really evaluating whether or not things are worth it is when K33 becomes like the main, you know, plot size. Up until that point, I'm going to kind of continue doing this stuff. I'm entertaining the idea of potentially selling my plotter because I don't use it for anything right now, but then keeping my farm stable and online and, you know, go like that. That's kind of what I'm balancing. And so that's what's going on in my life in terms of the Chia world. Everything's pretty stable. It's pretty easy. I don't have to worry too much about it. It's just out there. I would say I might actually be losing a little bit of money right now in terms of electricity costs, but I think in the long term, this is a long-term bet, you know, I'm sticking with it. So that's kind of what's going on with Chia. As for this channel, I really want to take some opportunities to kind of expand it a little bit. I think one of the things that, you know, there's only so much I can talk about Chia, and I don't really want to talk too much about cryptocurrency. I'm actually going to probably expand and talk a little bit more about just general software engineering. For those of you who didn't know, I am a software engineer. That's what I do for my main occupation, and this cryptocurrency, mining, hardware, all this stuff is just like hobbies kind of latched onto it. I'm gonna, you know, I think there's opportunity to make more content about software engineering and stuff like that. I think those are the things that I'm gonna try to make a little more content on, shed a little more color, whether that's kind of how it works, you know, learning tutorials, things like that. I think that's what I'm gonna kind of pivot this channel toward, which is why it's called Austin now. It's just me. But yeah, I think that's what I'd like to do. So, you know, if you guys are interested in that stuff, definitely stick around. If you're not, that's okay. I totally understand. This channel was originally about Chia and Chia only. And so you're going to start getting a lot more videos that are kind of a mixture of non-Chia related things. So if it's interesting to you, you know, stick around. Otherwise, all good. And yeah, this is kind of part of a multi-project plan that I have in terms of kind of producing content, also creating like online media for people to consume. It's just all kind of coming together. It's gonna take some time. I'm working toward it. It's kind of, I'm trying to balance all things, you know, work, side projects, making videos, all of that. So you'll have to be patient, bear with me, but I'm pretty excited about what's coming up next. So, you know, stay tuned. Yeah, and that's it. That's it for this update. You know, you can always hit me up in the comment section if you have questions about Chia. I'm gonna create something that allows, I don't know, if you have more questions about Chia, you can definitely, maybe it's a Twitter, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet exactly, but I'll make it so that you guys can still, you know, have that conversation with me even if I'm not talking about Chia all the time. Or you can just comment on some of the other videos. I'm gonna be happy to answer them. And yeah, that's it. You know, that's it for this update. I hope you guys are excited for what's coming up next. I will see you in the next video.